There are numerous ways you can progress the reverse crunch, but the first progression I'll take my clients and athletes through is simply changing the weight of the anchor behind their head, okay? So the first anchor when they're really first beginning might be a squat rack or a heavy dumbbell rack or a bench press, something that's clearly anchored to the ground that they literally couldn't get off no matter how hard they tried. But as they progress and get stronger and stronger and stronger, they're going to need something that will actually lift off the ground if they're using too much of their arms and not enough of their abs. So once they progress to a kettlebell, maybe they'll start with a 24, then they'll go down to a 16, then they'll go down to a 12, and so on, and they're really the goal being to eventually get them using some type of a light medicine ball at most, and that's a really advanced reverse crunch when they're doing that properly. Now, if that gets to the point where even that is too much, one of the things you really want to make sure they're doing is focusing on using their fingertips and not their whole hands, okay? So if their hands are behind their head, and you see that they're fully grabbing onto the anchor with their entire hand, their knuckles are white, and that they're jerking the bar, or jerking the anchor as they come down, they're really like using their arms to pull, then they're doing it wrong and they're using way too much arm and lat instead of their actual abdominals. So keep an eye on that as you're coaching. Make sure that they're not jerking it or their knuckles aren't going white. You want to make sure that you're being really light with their fingertips. And then finally, another really great progression is just turn this into more of a dragonfly or dragon tail or whatever you want to call it, where you push the knees further and further away from your face and increase the lever arm. This is a really more advanced variation where instead of keeping your knees tucked in towards your chest in a normal reverse crunch, this time you're going to push your knees further away and come out and keep the same 3 to 5 second eccentric. Just keep the lever arm significantly longer, and if you want, you can then increase the lever arm even further by taking your feet further out. And if you can get to the point where your feet are completely straight out and your legs are completely straight and not bent, that's probably one of the most advanced reverse crunch or really leg lowering variations you can use for your abdominals. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below.